Hello, everyone. Welcome to Donna Just Being Real, the only way to be. Okay, here we go again. We on trial day 23. Amber Heard testifies in her rebuttal case with her lies and fake tears. Everybody pull out the violins for her. She's so full of it. Oh my gosh. It was just like the performance, her regular performance with the fake tears and the poor me, how she's getting all these death threats and everything and stuff. Well, you know what, Amber? You kind of put yourself in that predicament, okay? You sat there and lied on this man. You was abusing this man. You know, God does not like ugly, all right? So it goes around, comes around. All right, so we're going to get into day 23. And tomorrow supposed to be the closing argument. So they're basically wrapping up now. So we just have to see what the jury thinks, you know, even though a lot of us agree that Johnny Depp was being abused and she's completely wrong. But we don't know what the jury is thinking. Oh, boy. We will find out. Okay, so let's get into this one. So I'm going to show one of the highlight clips for today. And I'm going to show the highlight clip of her on the stand answering questions by her lawyer. And then she gets cross-examined by, what's her name? Carmen Vasquez, I think her name is. Well, basically Johnny Depp's lawyer. It was very interesting. So share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Tell me what you think. Okay? And also my channel is about dating, love, relationship, toxic relationship. And I touch on true crimes and passion advice channel. That's your type of commentary. Feel free to subscribe and also hit the like button. And if you have any viewers requests, please email me. You can find my email in my about page, or you can find it in the description and email me and we can go from there. All right. So now we're on day 23. So enjoy the music while I share the screen. But let me just greet this real quick. Just greet whoever's in here. All right, we got Nikki. Hugs and kisses. I'm glad that you're here, girl. This was a performance today. All right, so I'm getting ready to share the screen. So just give me a second here. Enjoy the music while I share the screen. Poor bullcrap Amber. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, let's get it.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may be seated. All right, your next witness.
Your Honor, defendant calls Amber Heard.
All right, Ms. Heard, if you come to the stand, please. Yes, ma'am. Water.
Exactly, Nikki. Boo-hoo. Get a load of this.
Thank you, ma'am. Just a reminder, you're still under oath, okay?
Of course, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, your question?
She doesn't seem to remember she's under oath. You don't remember.
Amber, just to orient you and the jury, at this time, we're in the rebuttal to your counterclaim against Mr. Depp. So I'm going to confine my questions to that, okay?
All right.
How have you suffered publicly as a result of the Depp-Waldman statements?
Objection, speculation.
Overruled.
I am harassed, humiliated, threatened every single day. Even just walking into this courtroom, sitting here in front of the world, having the worst parts of my life, things I've lived through, used to humiliate me. People want to kill me, and they tell me so every day. People want to put my baby in the microwave, and they tell me that. Johnny threatened, promised me that if I ever left him, he'd make me think of him every single day that I lived.
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
All right, I'll sustain the objection as to that. If you want to ask the question.
Amber, how did Mr. Depp's statements and threats to you that you were discussing, how do those continue to manifest themselves today?
In the harassment and the humiliation, the campaign against me that's echoed every single day on social media and now in front of cameras in this room.
Okay, you saying this is so hard on you. How do you think Johnny Depp felt with you be lying about him, saying that he was abusing you, and such the horrible things that you said? I resume.
Single day, I have to relive the trauma. My hands shake. I wake up screaming. I have to live with the trauma and the damage done to me. My friends have to live with a set of unspoken rules about how to not scare me.
Objection, hearsay.
Yes, sir.
Unspoken rules
Overruled.
hearsay.
Go ahead.
about how to not touch me.
You need help. Let God help.
Not to surprise me. My intimate partners have rules about how they can deal with me, how they can touch me. I have rules for doctors and medical professionals I see, gynecologists I see. I live my life with these sets of rules that I have to follow, my friends have to follow for me not to have a panic attack or a triggering event where I relive the trauma. Even if I'm training to do my movie, for instance, if I'm training for Aquaman, a combat scene and a trigger happens, I have a meltdown and have to deal with that. The crew.
Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, do you see the performance? Please put in the chat. Whoever's watching this replay too, put in the chat. Just look at the performance. She's so full of bull. I mean, it's just quite obvious. I think she has more than borderline personality disorder and histrionic. This seems a little sociopathic to me because she's just full of lies. All she does, there's no tears coming out your eyes, miss. We don't see anything. Poor you. Oh my gosh, this girl's giving me a headache. Thank God this last time I got to hear you on the stand. Oh gosh. Please, jury, please do not let this woman win. I resume. Dome in the house. Mind on deck.
Crew I work with have to deal with that because of the damage I walk around with every single day from what I've lived through, from what I've survived. I'm not sitting in this courtroom snickering. I'm not sitting in this courtroom laughing, smiling, and making snide jokes. I'm not. This is horrible. This is painful.
Amber, you are laughing and making jokes. We see the pictures. We watch you. I watch you all the time. People do a commentary. They catch your pictures of you with the little smirks on your face. See, these type of people, they have little smirks because they get off on, doing bad things to you. They just evil. Just play on evil. So you're lying, Amber. You're lying. You're lying. I resume.
And this is humiliating for any human being to go through. And perhaps it's easy to forget that, but I'm a human being. And even though Johnny promised that I deserve this and promised he'd do this, I don't deserve this. I want to move on. Those statements, the attacks on me, the campaign, that Johnny has elicited millions of people to do on his behalf when he himself
Objection, Your Honor,
couldn't
lack
do
of
it?
foundation.
Torture me every day.
Speculation.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Amber, how have the Depp-Waldman statements impacted your ability to do charitable work?
You know, the only reason that people like Dr. Kirby can sit up here on the stand and say I'm high functioning and I do things like have hobbies and have interests is
Objection,
because I'm not.
non-responsive.
Your Honor, Mr. Depp gave long-winded responses yesterday.
Overruled, good.
It's because I found a solution to that pain. I woke up every morning with panic attacks and trauma until I realized I could do something with it. So to answer your question, Ben, I was able to turn the things that I've lived through, my pain, my life experiences, into work, into action, into providing a voice for other people. I'm not a saint. I'm not trying to present myself as one, as you all know, but I selfishly found relief in being able to use what I've lived through
Blah, blah,
to
blah.
advocate for others, to bring light to these issues, to give a voice to people who don't have the voice and the platform that I have. And while I would not wish this situation on my worst enemy, if it gives a voice to someone who doesn't have it, but I now, as I stand here today, can't have a career. I can't even have people associate with me because of
Johnny is the one giving a voice, because Johnny, I'm glad that you're doing this, Johnny Depp, because this is putting awareness that men get abused too by evil, vicious women like you. All this man ever did was love and respect you and give you anything you want, and what you do, you spit in his face. He did some crap like this. I mean, literally, she did spit in his face. It was in the trial, sicko.
the threats and the attacks that they have to endure.
Objection,
when they are.
non-responsive.
And I can't do my charity work.
Sustain the objection.
Amber, other than the threats that you've described, what other threats have you endured since the Depp-Waldman statements were made?
I receive hundreds of death threats regularly, if not daily. Thousands since this trial has started. People mocking.
I like what you just said, Nikki. You can't work because you are violent. Yes, people want to work with you. You insult your staff. You belittle them. You criticize their job title and everything. You insulted Johnny. A whole lot of people. You even abused your own sister. Your sister you put your hands on. I resume.
Mocking my testimony about being assaulted. Making fun.
Hungry Root is here.
And I needed it because my fridge is.
Of my
Objection, relevance. Non-responsive.
Goes to damages. You can continue.
It's been agonizing, painful, and the most humiliating thing I've ever had to go through. I hope no one ever has to go through something like this. I just want Johnny to leave me alone. I just want him to leave me alone. I've said that for years now, and I thought he would after
Objection,
2020.
non-responsive.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
What do you hope to reclaim after this is over?
Protecting the secret that I did for as long as I did has taken enough of my voice. Johnny has taken enough of my voice. I have the right to tell my story. I have the right to say what happened to me. I have the right to my voice and my name. He took it long enough. I have a right as an American to talk about what happened to me, to own my.
I'm really trying to figure out what TV show that you're trying to imitate. What woman? I'm trying to figure out. You're doing a horrible job doing it. You need to take some better acting classes. And whoever your the acting coach was, they need to be fired because you're horrible. You're horrible. They should have told you you won't make the cut. So who are you trying to be right now, Amber? You see, these type of people, these toxic people, they have a lot of different personalities. They can't. They always want to steal other people's identities. That's what they do. That's what they do. They steal people's identities. That's it. Because they don't have their own. I resume.
My story and my truth. I have that right. I hope to get my voice back. It's all I want. And I've said that from day one.
Thank you, Amber. I don't have anything else.
All right, cross-examination.
Did y'all see Johnny's face with her performance? Really, really, really. Let's get cross-examined. Let's see what Johnny Depp lawyer have to say.
Actually, Your Honor, may we approach? for
Yes,
brief-
yes. Yeah.
See, that's the sick part about it, Nikki. These type of people believe their lies. They really do. It's sick. Look at her. Now she's getting ready to change performance. Look at her expression. Now she's getting ready to be somebody else. See, I told you they have different personalities. Now she's getting herself geared up. She's getting prepared. How I'm gonna approach this one. Let's see. I gotta get this jury to believe me. Believe my lies. Let me fast forward this. I'm just speeding it up because they're at the bench. They was at the bench for a long time. I'm just speeding it up, ladies and gentlemen. There go her sister. You see her? You see her? There she go. Why are you defending her? All she do is beats on you. She don't have no respect for you. She don't care about you. I resume. I'll fast forward.
about a woman leaning on you. Is that correct?
Yes, that's effective. All right.
Your lies have been exposed. That this case has been very hard.
All right, here it goes.
Ms. Heard, you just testified that this case has been very hard for you. So let's talk about that and why.
All right.
Your lies have been exposed to the world multiple times, right?
I haven't lied about anything I've been here to say.
You sat here and told this jury that the events in Hicksville started with Mr. Depp getting really upset about a woman leaning on you. Is that correct?
Yes, that's effectively what happened, yeah.
You testified that he actually grabbed that woman's wrist and twisted it, right?
And told her that he could effectively break her wrist by saying he knew how many pounds of pressure, or asking her how many pounds of pressure it took to break a human wrist.
But your own witness, your former best friend, Rocky Pennington, she didn't corroborate that, did she?
I'm not quite sure what part of that night she saw. There were a lot of people there.
She didn't testify that Mr. Depp grabbed anyone's wrist in Hicksville.
Again, I don't know what Rocky saw. There were a lot of people there that night.
You testified that once you brought Mr. Depp back to your trailer, he trashed it, correct?
That is correct.
And the manager of the Hicksville trailer park was furious that Johnny had wrecked the whole thing. Do you remember that testimony?
That's correct.
Well, we heard from that manager of the Hicksville trailer park, Morgan Knight, on Monday, didn't we?
I'm not quite sure who that guy was or if he had any involvement in this. I know a lot of people have come out of the woodwork to be involved.
So you're accusing Mr. Knight of testifying and committing perjury?
I'm not accusing anyone. I just don't recognize that man.
You heard Mr. Knight testify that it was actually you who was upset with Mr. Depp spending time away from him. Isn't that correct?
How would he know? He wasn't there.
You heard Mr. Knight testify that it was actually you who was yelling at Mr. Depp.
Again, I've heard a lot of people say a lot of things to be involved in the Johnny Depp show, but he wasn't there. He doesn't know. And he certainly doesn't know what happened behind closed doors, like most people.
So you're calling Mr. Knight a liar?
I am saying he wasn't there, and what he testified to doesn't match what I know happened. But I don't fault him. He wasn't there, so how would he know?
He testified he was there, Ms. Heard. Did you hear that?
That's his testimony, yes.
So you're calling him a liar?
I'm just saying he wasn't there.
You heard Mr. Knight testify that the trailer wasn't trashed, and that's why you're calling him a liar.
He testified that a light fixture was broken, similar to the way that
yes,
Johnny's
other than a light
employees
fixture. That was
testified
the
to
only
my
thing that was
closet
broken,
being
right?
rearranged
Ms. Heard?
and things
Ms.
like
Heard?
that.
The only thing that was broken in the trailer, according to Mr. Knight, was a light fixture. Yes or no?
I realized that he summed it up by saying a light fixture was broken, just the way his security guard summed up him trashing my closet as being rearranged.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to strike everything after he summed it up, that it was a light fixture, as non-responsive.
Answer the question, Your Honor.
Overruled.
In the security guard testimony, Your Honor?
I'll allow it. Go ahead.
Mr. Knight also testified that he charged Mr. Depp only $62 for the damaged light fixture. You heard that, correct?
I did.
In Hicksville, you were the only one that was jealous that Mr. Depp was spending time from other people. Isn't that correct, Ms. Heard?
That is incorrect.
In Hicksville, you were the one who was upset that Mr. Depp wasn't giving you enough attention.
Incorrect again.
Ms. Heard, you told this jury that you had no idea the press was going to be at the courthouse when you got your TRO on May 27th, 2016. Do you remember that testimony?
I said I did not have anything to do with it. Yes.
No. My question again. You told this jury that you had no idea that the press was going to be outside after you got the ex-party TRO on May 27th, 2016. Do you remember that testimony?
I apologize. I must have misunderstood Ms. Vasquez. I actually had no idea whether they were going to be there or not. When I walked into the courtroom that day, it was completely quiet, still, empty. Even though I had given Johnny's team notice.
You're lying, Amber. You did know. You wanted to publicly humiliate Johnny Depp. You wanted to ruin his career. because you was jealous of him. How the heck are you jealous of your own husband, you evil woman? Evil. I resume.
That I was filing the
Objection,
TRO.
Your Honor, this is not
We had no
responsive.
reason to
Move to
believe the
strike.
press knew.
And Your Honor, I would also ask that you instruct the witness to please stop talking once I lodge an objection.
Your Honor, she's trying to answer the question as best she can, and Ms. Vasquez is misrepresenting to her what she testified to.
I'll strike the last part as
Thank you,
non-responsive.
Donna.
Just if you could just answer the questions asked. Okay, thank you, Ms. Hearn.
In fact, you testified that you were, quote, shocked when you saw press when you were leaving the courthouse. Yes?
Yes.
You weren't shocked at all, though, were you?
Incorrect. It was
You knew the press
horrifying.
would be at the courthouse, right, Ms. Heard?
No.
Well, you did bring your publicist to the courthouse with you on May 27th, 2016, didn't you?
I sure did. I'm a public figure. I brought my publicist in case it blew up. In case. And
You
I'm
actually
glad
had
I did.
alerted TMZ that you would be filing a TRO against Mr. Depp that very
No,
day,
I did
didn't
not.
you?
No, I did
The
not.
one day you didn't bother to wear makeup to cover up the mark on your face.
I did not call TMZ or any other news source or paparazzi source. No one.
Well,
I
we
never
heard
did that.
testimony from former TMZ employee Morgan Tremaine yesterday, correct?
Did I hear his testimony?
Yes.
Yes, I was here.
Yes. And you heard Mr. Tremaine's testimony that he knew to dispatch the paparazzi to the courthouse on May 27th, right?
I heard him say that he knew that, yes.
Yeah, and that he dispatched paparazzi to the courthouse to capture a picture of an alleged bruise on the right side of your face. Do you remember him saying that?
I remember him saying that.
That information must have come from your team, right, Ms. Heard?
Absolutely not. Why would I want that? What actual survivor of domestic violence wants that?
Now, the video of Mr. Depp beating up some kitchen cabinets, you admit that you took that video, correct?
Yes, I did.
And you acknowledge that the video was released online the day before you were deposed in connection with your divorce from Mr. Depp in August of 2016, right?
I believe it was, yes.
But you testified that you had absolutely nothing to do with the video's release, right?
Absolutely not.
And you testified that you learned about it when you landed after flying into LA. Do you remember that testimony?
Upon touchdown is when I was alerted to the video's
You
existence
heard Mr.
online.
Tremaine testify.
Look at Johnny Depp's expression. It's like he's thinking, I can't believe I fell in love with this woman. I can't believe I gave this woman my heart. I can't believe all the things I did for this woman, her family, and her friends. Let them come and live up in my house. Food, everything. And this is what I get. I can't believe that I was laying down with Satan's daughter. I resume.
About this video as well yesterday, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And you heard Mr. Tremaine testify that TMZ received the cabinet video the same day you landed at LAX. Yes?
I don't know if that's what his testimony was. I'm sorry.
You heard Mr. Tremaine testify that the cabinet video was posted 15 minutes after TMZ received it. Yes?
That's what I heard him say.
And that this could only have been possible if the video was received directly from the source. Yes?
I heard him say that. I don't know if that's true or if that's possible because
And
it
you
didn't come
heard
from me. I was
Mr.
flying.
Tremaine
So
testify.
I know that's incorrect is what I mean to say.
Another liar on the stand.
I just know that that's incorrect.
Right. And you heard Mr. Tremaine testify that TMZ owns the copyright to the cabinet video, right?
That's news to me.
The cabinet video you filmed of your then husband. Yes?
The copyright ownership of that is news to me. I learned that yesterday.
It's the cabinet video that you captured of your then husband. Yes?
That is correct. I did capture that video. And
The
yes,
cabinet
that was
video-
my husband.
The same cabinet video that was released the night before you were deposed in your divorce. Yes?
That's correct.
You must have also heard Mr. Tremaine testify that the version of the cabinet video that TMZ received was incomplete compared to the video the jury saw in this trial. Did you hear that?
The video that that you have seen is complete.
Right. But the one TMZ got the day before your deposition in the divorce was incomplete.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
He testified that at the beginning portion of the video where you set up the camera, that wasn't included in the video that TMZ received.
I don't know what video TMZ
I'm talking
received.
about Mr. Tremaine's testimony, Ms. Heard. Let's just
You're
focus on
asking me to
Mr.
repeat
Tremaine.
his testimony?
No, I'm asking you if you recall hearing him say those words to this jury.
Yes,
Under oath.
I heard his testimony. We all did.
And he testified that the end of the video where you can be seen smirking I know you testified earlier that you haven't been smirking in this trial, but you sure were caught on camera smirking in that video.
I disagree with that.
Was also not included in the TMZ video.
Everyone can watch that video and you can determine whether you think it's funny to me or not.
That's because the video came from you, right, Ms. Heard?
No, it did not.
You
That
edited
video
out
did
the
not
portions.
come to me.
Ms. Heard,
Come from me.
Ms. Heard, you edited out the portions that made you look bad before sending it to TMZ.
You're very wrong about that.
So that
Just like I said, that video with the cabinet slamming, that was a setup. She was setting him up. She knew what she was doing. She was gaslighting him. Ha 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 ha. Busted. Now everybody knows that was a BS video that you did. And not once did he hit you. No. Slamming cabinets because he's upset in his own home. A person can do that. But did he put his hands on you? No. But you wanted to use it against him to make it seem like, oh, he's such a dangerous, violent man. I resume.
I wanted to
Mr.
leak
Depp
information. I
looked
could have
bad.
done it in a more effective way, a lot sooner and a lot more.
because
I
you
was
knew exactly
living
how to
with
do
a
that,
mountain
right?
of this evidence. If I wanted to leak it, I could have done a lot more with it.
I thought you testified earlier in this trial that you didn't know how to leak things.
I
Remember
don't.
that? Right. You edited that video before you gave it to TMZ so that only Mr. Depp would look bad. Yes?
That's absurd.
Right in the middle of your divorce proceedings.
Again, you're very wrong.
Naturally in the house. Girl, this was insane today. Were you able to catch it earlier too? You just catching it now. Oh my gosh. That whole TMZ thing was a bunch of BS. I mean, the video with him slamming the cabinets and stuff. I'm so glad they exposing this because you know darn well, Amber Heard, you were setting that thing up because you're trying to gaslight your husband and you put that video out there to try to destroy him, but not once did he hit you. Try to make sense. Oh, he's such a dangerous man. He's such a dangerous man. I resume. And good evening to everyone that's come here. Make sure you hit the like button and share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Feel free to engage anytime. Thank you. Good evening.
I'd like to show you a picture from that's already admitted into evidence. It's Defendant's Exhibit 799. This is you at the courthouse on May 27th, 2016, when you got your domestic violence restraining order against Mr. Depp, right?
It is.
And next to you is a woman named Jody Gottlieb, right?
Yes, yes.
Jody Gottlieb is your publicist?
Dear friend.
Just look at her. You're so full of it, Amber. You're just so full of it. I resume.
Now I'd like to show you what's been marked as Plaintiff's Exhibit 1316. This is a picture of you and your friend Rocky Pennington, right?
That is correct.
Your Honor, I'd like to move to admit this photograph.
Any objection to 1316?
No, Your Honor.
All right, 1316 in evidence. You can publish to the jury.
This is a picture of you on May 28th, 2016, right, Ms. Heard?
I don't know when this was taken.
This is the day after you obtained the domestic violence restraining order against Mr. Depp, right?
I have no idea when this image was taken. I did not take it.
There's no bruise on your face in this picture, is there?
Again, I don't know when this was taken. And also, I'm outside. I was obviously wearing makeup. I have no idea when this was taken. So I have no idea if I can
Let's
speak to
refresh your
what
recollection.
bruise you can see
Let's
or not.
refresh your recollection about when this picture was taken. Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1315 just for the witness? This is an article dated May 30th, 2016, right, Ms. Heard?
That's what it says, yes.
And this article contains the same photograph of you and Ms. Pennington we were just looking at, yes?
Yes, I see that.
And the article is entitled, Amber Heard Smiles as She Puts Arm Around Friend One Day After Getting Restraining Order Against Johnny Depp. Is that what the title says?
I know that's what the title says, yes.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to admit and publish the article with everything but the headline and date and the photo redacted.
Objection, Your Honor. That's inconsistent from the way you've treated all of these.
I'll sustain the objection. All right, next question.
Let's take a look at picture Plaintiff's Exhibit 1317. This is also a picture of you and Ms. Pennington on May 28th, 2016, isn't it?
I don't know when this photo was taken, but it looks like the same outing as the picture prior.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to admit and publish Plaintiff's Exhibit 1317.
Any objection?
No, Your
All
Honor.
right, 1317 in evidence, you can publish.
There's no bruise on your face in this picture either, right?
I disagree. If it is taken when you represent it was taken, then obviously there's a bruise on my face.
I don't see anything. Amber, where is it? I don't see anything. I don't see. I have very good eyesight. I don't see anything. I resume. Johnny Depp is really getting his money worth with this lawyer. He really is. I resume. Hit the light.
Face is covered by makeup as per usual.
Let's zoom out of that picture for a moment, please. Thanks, Tom. That's Josh Drew in this picture, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And Ms. Pennington
That is correct.
in there too? Ms.
That is
Pennington submitted a sworn statement on your behalf in support of your domestic violence restraining order, didn't she?
I believe she did, yes.
Mr. Drew also submitted a statement in support of your domestic violence restraining order.
I believe they both did, yes. Mhm.
Ms. Hurd, I'd like to show you Defendant's Exhibit 512, which is already in evidence. You've seen this photograph before, right?
I have.
On the second day of your direct testimony, you testified that this was taken in the downstairs of the main apartment on December 15th, 2015. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes, I believe so.
So it's your testimony that Defendant's Exhibit 512 reflects damage to Penthouse 5 that occurred during the December 15th, 2015 incident. Yes?
I'm not quite sure from what incident this is when I see this photo in a vacuum without context.
Let's give you that context. Can we please, thanks. I could have day 16 trial testimony. Your Honor, did we approach?
All right.
Abby! Ooh, this girl is being exposed, Abby. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Just hopefully the jury sees it.
Could you please turn first to page 4585?
Sorry, one second.
Specifically starting on line 16, where it says, let's talk about December 15th, 2015.
You said 458. I'm on 4485. Sorry, you said 4584.
4585.
Pardon.
Line 16. Line 16, where it says, let's talk about December 15th, 2015. You see that?
Yes.
And then do you see that your testimony about December 15th, 2015 follows?
Let's see. It's just the first line or two. Yes.
Okay. Now I'd like you to turn to page 4603. Starting at line 12. 4603. Starting at line 12 and going on to page 4604, line 4.
Okay.
And do you see that you testify that defendant's exhibit 512, which is on the screen,
Yes,
is a picture of the downstairs of the main apartment?
that's correct.
And the main apartment is penthouse 5 in the Eastern Columbia building, right?
No, well, depends on what, the main apartment's penthouse 3 generally when we say main apartment.
Penthouse 5 was where you had your closet?
The downstairs was kind of like had some of my painting studio set up and a reception area. Upstairs was the closet.
Got it.
Mezzanine office was in between.
All right, so it's your testimony that defendant's exhibit 512 reflects damage to the penthouse 5, that occurred during the December 15th, 2015 incident, right?
I'm just not sure from which incident this is a picture of, since I'm only looking at
Even
a
though your
partial
counsel
floor.
was asking you questions about December 15th, 2015, and then admitted this picture into evidence
Again,
in relation to that incident.
Sorry, go ahead.
In relation to that incident on December 15th, 2015. This exhibit, defendant's exhibit, you are the defendant, number 512, was admitted into evidence in this court. You testified that this was the result of damage that occurred on December 15th, 2015. Yes or no?
I just need to orient myself because I'm just looking at a picture of a partial
No,
picture of a
Ms. Hurd,
floor,
you didn't just
so
look
I
at a
can't.
picture. You looked at your testimony.
You pointed me towards the page and then asked me a question. I haven't actually reviewed it. I don't know if this was submitted in relation to that incident.
Let's actually leave up defendant's 512 and please pull up defendant's exhibit 725, which is already in evidence
Thank you.
in redacted form, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You can publish.
Just side by side. You've seen this photograph as well, right?
I have.
On the third day of your direct testimony, you testified that this photograph reflected spilled wine in Penthouse 5 on May 21st, 2016, didn't you?
Again, I don't know because I'm looking at a partial picture of a floor. So unless you remove the metadata you've covered up, we could then tell. If you
I didn't cover it up, Your Honor.
Could we unredact
Your Honor
them so we could get context?
That's how it's in evidence.
That's how
All
it's in
right.
evidence.
Next question.
Well, the metadata next to it is so that
Ms.
to
Hurd,
avoid this
Ms.
sort of
Hurd,
confusion.
there is no question pending, and I would appreciate it if you wouldn't be making argument to the jury.
Sorry, I
It's
thought you had
inappropriate.
asked me about it.
No, I didn't ask you about anything. Let's look at your direct testimony from the third day. May I approach?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's turn to page 4750 in day 17 transcript.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
4750. Specifically line 16. Do you see where Ms. Bredehoff asked you to describe for the jury what took place on May 21st, 2016?
I see that.
And do you see that your testimony is reflected about May 21, 2015
Yes.
that follows? Okay.
Yes.
Now let's turn to page 4804 at line 14. 4804. Starting at line 14
Yes.
through 4805, line 4.
Going to what line?
Line 4 at 4805. Do you see that you're testifying that defendant's exhibit 725, which is reflected on the right side, reflects spilled wine on the floor in penthouse 5?
That's correct.
Okay, and defendant's exhibit 512 and 725 seem to be different versions of the same picture, don't they?
That's correct.
So which is it? Which one was taken on December 15th, 2015? or May 21st, 2016?
If you remove the redacted metadata, you can find out. It's right there.
Or if you're telling the truth, you would know.
Recognize a portion of of spilled wine on a floor, and I'm supposed to know off the top of my head when you've
No.
lived through 5 years of this stuff? I don't think so. That's not how that works.
Okay. Thank you, Tom. Ms. Hurd, at the beginning of your cross-examination
Your
last
Honor, may we
week,
approach?
Yes.
I knew he was going to say that. I just knew it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen in the gallery, I would ask that there be no words or no phrases, no words, no sounds at all coming from you. If I hear one more sound, I will clear the gallery and we will continue this testimony without anybody in the courtroom. Understood? Good. All right, your next question.
Ms. Hurd, at the beginning of your cross-examination last week, I showed you an audio where you told Mr. Depp to tell the jury, tell the judge, tell the world that he is a victim of domestic abuse. Do you remember that?
That's correct.
And you testified you found it hard to believe that Mr. Depp would tell the world that he's a victim of domestic abuse, didn't you?
I said I find it hard to believe that he would do that knowing that he himself had beat me up for 5 years.
But he has told the world that he's your victim of domestic abuse, hasn't he?
Well, he started to say that only recently. He didn't make that claim up until very recently. So when we signed our divorce agreement and we signed a statement saying that neither party had ever said false claims for financial gain, it was relevant and important to me because I was the only one making the accusations. I was the only one making those claims. He wasn't doing that at the time, and he signed his name to it.
You didn't expect as many people to show up and testify on his behalf that did you?
Incorrect.
When you told this jury under oath that you never assaulted, actually, strike that. Sorry. When you told this jury under oath that you punched Mr. Depp because you thought of Mr. Depp pushing Kate Moss down the stairs, you didn't expect Ms. Moss to agree to testify that never happened, did you?
Incorrect. I know how many people will come out of the woodwork to be in support of Johnny.
So
It
you
is
think
clear
Ms.
by this
Moss
courtroom
needs
how
to
many
come
people
out
will
of the
do that.
woodwork to testify for Mr. Depp?
Everybody who was around in the 90s and the early aughts knew that rumor. I had heard that rumor from multiple people. Of course, that's what flashed through my head when my violent husband not only swung for me, but all of a sudden swung for my.
I'm so glad Kate Moss came. Well, she didn't come, but she was, through whatever. But I'm so glad that she cleared that up because you really look stupid lying like that. And you didn't think Kate Moss was going to do that, did you? You didn't think that she was going to pop up, did you? No, not at all. You wasn't prepared for that. And your lawyers sure wasn't prepared for it either. Ha ha. I resume.
Sister. Of course I thought of that. I did not expect her to show up or not expect her to show up. It didn't matter. It doesn't change what I believed at the time when we were on the stairs and I thought he was going to kill my sister by pushing her down the stairs.
You told this jury under oath that Mr. Depp was aggressive and trashed a trailer in Hicksville. You didn't expect the manager of the Hicksville property, Morgan Knight, to come forward and testify that wasn't true, did you?
Incorrect. I've already been through trials with this man. I know how many people will come out in support of him.
When you told this jury under oath that you had no idea that the paparazzi would be at the courthouse on May 27th, 2016, you didn't expect a TMZ employee to show up to testify that TMZ had been alerted that you would be at the courthouse and knew exactly which side of your face to take a picture of, did you?
I know how many people will come out and say whatever for him. That's his power. That's why I wrote the op-ed. I was speaking to that phenomenon. How many people will come out in support of him and will fall to his power? He is a very powerful man, and people love currying favor with powerful men.
Currying
And I know
favor
that
and
firsthand. I've
risking
lived
jail
it.
time for committing perjury?
Excuse me? I didn't hear your
You
question.
didn't hear
Excuse
my
me?
question?
Ms. Vasquez, if you do mind,
Curry-
please just repeat the question. I didn't hear you.
Curry favor and commit perjury in this courtroom
I have
for
seen
a
people
powerful
do this.
man?
I have seen people do this time and time again. That's why I wrote the op-ed.
You didn't expect Ben King, the house manager in Australia, to show up from England. He flew from England to testify that Mr. Depp's fingertip was found exactly where he said it would be. Did you?
Ha ha.
I have never heard Johnny testify to knowing where his finger was, or really, frankly, making a claim that he knew where it was when it was found. I've never heard Johnny claim that.
You didn't expect
Johnny
Keenan
doesn't-
Wyatt.
Johnny has never
Ms.
actually
Heard.
said that.
Ms. Heard.
And
I think the
Ben
jury
King,
can,
yes.
Ms. Heard, there's no question pending. You didn't expect Keenan Wyatt, Mr. Depp's longtime sound technician, to show up and testify that Mr. Depp is not being fed lines through his earpieces, but instead music, did you?
Not that it matters much, but of course I did. I know how his employees treat him.
So you
I know how
probably-
his team treats him. Of course I expected that.
Okay, so you probably expected Isaac Baruch to come and testify for Mr. Depp, right?
I'm not sure I thought about that.
Yeah, but you didn't expect Mr. Baruch to weep for Mr. Depp after what you've put him through and so many others with your lies.
I
did you?
relate to Isaac because he and I are
There's
the
no
only
further
ones who
questions, Your
cried
Honor.
on this stand.
Nothing further.
All right. Redirect.
I like the way Johnny Depp's lawyer walked away. She was like, okay, I'm done. That's it. I got you. Busted. Now let's see if your lawyer's going to save you. I doubt it. Good luck. But he is trying his best. He really is. He's trying to make something happen with the impossible. Good luck, sir. Hope you're going to get paid. Because by the time she's done, if she loses, she's not going to be able to afford to pay you. I resume. This is funny.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Heard, if Mr. Baruch felt misled, who misled him?
Johnny, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him from crying. This is horrible.
Ms. Vasquez has suggested that you faked bruises on your face. Is that true?
Absolutely not. I didn't need to.
Did you ever fake an injury caused by Mr. Depp?
No.
Is any of the evidence of your injuries that has been put to the jury in this trial fake?
No, absolutely not.
And to the extent that there may be some confusion over when a picture of spilled wine was taken, why might that be?
Objection,
Because there's so
lack of
many-
foundation.
Overruled.
Because there's so many incidents of violence. There's so many pictures. There's so much evidence. Most people don't have this kind of evidence for years, 5 years. And when I was saying,
You see, what bothers me with this Amber Heard too, because there's a lot of women out here that's victims of domestic violence. And see, trifling women like you, right? When there's really a woman out here, as we speaking right now, there's a woman that's getting beat to the pulp right now. Her husband came home, boyfriend, lover, whoever, just came home, decided he just wanted to beat the crap out of her for no reason. And then she wants to go and cry for help. You know, she wants to go get some help, go to college. But people's not going to believe it because of liars like you. Okay? And that's what pisses me off about this whole thing. Because you're a liar. I resume. Yeah, put in the comments that you agree with me or not. And hold a second. Let me pause for a second. Let me read the votes. Okay, we got 9 votes. And the question is, wait a minute. Okay, we have 9 votes. And the question is, do you believe Amber Heard's BS? 89% said, heck no, Donna. 11% said, yes, I do, Donna. And 0% says, not sure. Thank you for voting. I'm going to put up another vote. Resume.
saying that to Johnny on the phone in that recording, I was saying for years, this has been going on. And I have pictures, we have texts, we have everything. Normally you don't get this amount of evidence. That's what I was pointing out to Johnny. It would be crazy to try to challenge this in this way. It's crazy. It's easy to not know the context of a picture of spilled wine because there are so many more important details, pictures, and also so much I didn't photograph, so much I didn't have the presence.
Objection,
of mind to document.
non-responsive.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Did Mr. Depp abuse you physically,
Yes,
verbally,
yes,
emotionally,
yes,
Psychologically?
Yes.
How did the threats that Mr. Depp made against you individually years ago resemble what you've endured as a result of the Depp-Waldman statements?
Beyond the scope of cross, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Johnny promised me he would ruin me, that he'd ruin my career, he'd take my life from me. Death was the only way out. And if I got out, this is what he'd do to me. He'd make me think of him every single day. He promised me global humiliation. You saw those texts.
When you're dealing with toxic people, you really have to listen. Everything she's saying is what she's doing to him. Basically, she was like, if you leave me for any kind of reason, I will destroy you. And that's what she's doing. So everything she's talking about, she is actually telling the truth. But she's saying this Johnny, but she's actually talking about herself. New York Bees! Hey, welcome, welcome. You understand? So you have to read between the lines. Sometimes you have to listen to this madness because you will get the answers. But it's really about her. I resume. Make sure everybody votes, please. Thank you.
What he couldn't do, the work of one individual, meaning Johnny, when he was inviting a disgruntled employee over for a spot of purple to fix my flabby ass up.
I'm sorry, I kept talking. Naturally, you said run it back. Do you want me to rewind it some? I'm gonna wait just a second. Let me know. Is that what you meant? To rewind it? I don't want to play no more if you're saying to rewind. Wait a second. And see. Just let me know yes or no. Okay. Nikki says she admitted to writing it up. That's a nail. Naturally says exactly. Nikki says agreed. Nikki also says no. Nikki says no again. And Naturally said not essay her at all. Wait a minute. Okay. And Evening, New York B says, oh, I love the tiger. Oh my gosh, I love tigers. Beautiful. New York B says, even Donna and live chat, another day of wacko Amber. I like this shared you out. Thank you for always sharing me out. I appreciate. Thank you. Okay. Jack says I'm done. All right. Greeting there. Do not worry about it. Oh, okay. All right. I resume then, naturally. I'm sorry, I was to talk so much, I didn't realize what you had said. I apologize.
That revenge that he sought back then was just what he could do as an individual, calling the studio to get me fired, trying to block him.
Objection, Your Honor. Lack of foundation, speculation, hearsay,
all in
non-responsive.
I'll sustain as to non-response.
Ms. Hurd, how did those things that you just testified to that Mr. Depp did, how did those resemble what happened to you after the Depp-Waldman counterclaim statements were made?
Those are
Objection, Your
just,
Honor. Lack of foundation.
She's
Overruled.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
those are just an echo of what I'm living through today. It's like what I'm living in right now. What you see in this courtroom is an echo. This courtroom and the other courtroom he dragged me into to do the same thing again. That's just an echo of the violence and the abuse that I suffered within our relationship. The campaigns to have me fired, the blocking me to try to ruin my career, the threats he's made to humiliate me globally are being lived out in real time in front of you, ladies and gentlemen, for the past 6 weeks and for the whole world since our camera's here.
No further questions. Thank you so much, Amber.
All right, Ms. Hurd, you can have a seat next to your attorneys. If I could have the attorneys approach.
I think I'm gonna show another clip because I think this is the end of this one. I'm gonna show him a clip of the doctor because yesterday Johnny Depp's psychologist, forensic psychologist, came on the stand doing a rebuttal towards Amber Heard's doctor, but now she came back again today. So I'm gonna show that clip after this one since we have a little bit of time. I'm gonna show that one. Let me fast forward this, ladies and gentlemen. Abby says, New York, oh, me too. If I get vibes, I don't second question my intuitions. Realist up in the house, stopping by to say peace and blessings. Hey, hang out a little bit, engage. Tell me what you think about this. Have you been following this realist, this whole thing? Share your thoughts about it. How do you feel? Do you feel Johnny Depp is a victim of domestic violence? Do you feel Amber Heard not? Have you been following? Share your thoughts. All right. Jack says, I'm finished. She's a devil. Yes, she is. That's Satan's daughter right there. Satan's daughter, you bleach blonde. All right. Oh, spoken like a true abuser. All right. Abby says, I do think that she needs some support. It's very one-sided and the celebrity worship is extreme. No, honey, I don't think that's her situation. She's just a liar. Okay. And she was getting support. If I'm correct, I think she was getting support with the Me Too movement. But now now they look at her like you making us look like a bunch of
Your
jokes.
Honor, the counterclaimant Amber Heard rests.
All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard all the evidence you're going to hear in this matter. What I propose doing is to go ahead and give you the rest of the afternoon off so you can have a good restful afternoon and evening, and we will do closing arguments tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., and then the case will be submitted to you for deliberations. Just to give you a little logistics of how that will go, tomorrow I won't give you a time limit as far as how long you can deliberate in the afternoon into the evening. I will tell you, within reason, I do not serve dinner, so keep that in mind, okay? You will not be deliberating on Saturday or Sunday or Monday, because Monday is a holiday. I would like to have you back here Tuesday morning, at least by 9 o'clock. If you want to come earlier, that's up to you. You can decide as a group if you want to come earlier than 9 o'clock, but you have to be here at least by 9 o'clock to resume your deliberations again. And again on Tuesday night, and if you have to go to Wednesday or Thursday, that the time that when you take your breaks is up to you, as long as you take them together, as far as not having any deliberations unless all of the jurors are in the room at the same time. When you take your lunch is up to you. And then again in the evening, within reason, I'll let you go as long as you'd like to go, okay? So have a good evening and we'll see you tomorrow morning, okay? Do not discuss case with anybody, don't do any outside research.
Exactly, Miss Naturally. He did try to help her because he loved her. He loved her. He was trying to help her, but didn't realize he was laying down with Satan's daughter and she only came into his life to use and abuse him. That's it. She had a bad agenda from the beginning. She's evil. Okay, I'm going to show him a clip. I believe that clip's like 15 minutes. And then that's it. I'll let y'all, ladies and gentlemen, go and stuff. Thank you for being here, but I had to show this one. So tomorrow is supposed to be, well, let me just save my thoughts. Let me get to the clip. Enjoy the music while I share this out. Share out the video, the clip. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's get it. Okay, yesterday we did see Johnny Depp's lawyer came out there talking about this lawyer. I think her name is Hughes, and saying that she's basically full of baloney. Okay, so she came back again to do her rebuttal. So we're gonna hear what she have to say. Now, this is Johnny Depp's lawyer cross-examining her. Let's get it.
Last time you were here, I believed that you testified that you had diagnosed Ms. Heard with PTSD before you gave the gold standard CAPS-5 test.
That's correct.
Right. And that diagnosis is actually reflected in the first of the disclosures you put forward in this case.
No, Abby.
I believe the first disclosure was February 2021. And at that point, I had done 11 psychological tests. That's correct.
Right. And your disclosure reads, Ms. Heard's responses on the PCL-5 support a DSM-5 diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder with an etiology of intimate partner violence she experienced by a former partner. Remember writing that?
That's correct.
Okay. You just testified that you need to read the manual, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can we put up 1311 as a demonstrative?
New York Beach, you are so right. Worst thing Amber said was Johnny took advantage of her with a bottle of her. No way it wasn't consent for this situation. That was so low of her. So low and grimy. But see, that's what Satan daughters do. You know, this is, you know, they just get low down and dirty. Low down. I resume.
Any objection to
I don't know
1311?
what it is, Your Honor.
All right, if you want to
May we
leave,
approach?
you want to approach?
Tom,
I'm going to pick up the speed on here. I'm going to put on 1.25.
Thank you. I don't see this in my document either.
They're getting the right one up.
yeah, we got it. Let's use 1312.
1312, okay. And that, any objection to that demonstrative?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, 1312 can be published to the jury.
Dr. Hughes, do you recognize what the National Center for PTSD is?
What it is?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
And they publish.
If you hate building websites, listen up. This is the software for you. I have designed
The PTSD checklist for DSM-5,
That's correct.
that what we've been calling the PCL-5.
Correct.
All right. And are you familiar with the document that's on your screen?
Yes.
What is it?
It's the instruction manual to how to administer the PCL-5.
Okay. I'd like to move for the admission of 1312.
Any objection to 1312 coming into evidence? All right, 1312 in evidence.
All right. Can we go to the second page? Can we blow up the second paragraph on the right? The PCL-5 should not be used as a standalone diagnostic tool. When considering a diagnosis, the clinician will still need to use clinical interviewing skills and a recommended structured interview, e.g. the CAPS-5, to determine a diagnosis, correct? That's what the manual says.
Right, and this manual
Okay.
also says that this is a screening instrument, so when you do the clinical interviewing, you absolutely can determine diagnosis.
So the
after
answer is
somebody
yes. The manual says you
Still
the
need to use
PCL-5
clinical interviewing skills, which I used.
Let me finish my question. The PCL-5 should not be used as a standalone diagnostic tool, and they recommend using the CAPS-5 to determine a diagnosis, correct?
It does say that, yes.
Yeah, and you made your diagnosis before you did the CAPS 5.
I made my diagnosis doing clinical interviewing and 11 other psychological tests that supported diagnosis of PTSD and symptomatology consistent with PTSD.
Okay, you said that we should read the manual. Would you also agree with me that we need to read the directions on these tests?
Sure.
Okay. Tom, can you pull up 1309 as a demonstrative?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Any objection to 1309 as a demonstrative?
May we approach?
Okay.
Where do Amber Heard be finding these quack doctors? I don't understand. We got this one here, and then this other one here. Remember him the other night? We all couldn't stop laughing. Where are they finding these doctors from? How were they able to pass their classes? I don't get it.
1309 and publish the jury as demonstrative.
Doctor, do you recognize the demonstrative that's in front of you?
Yes, but I didn't put the red lines on that.
No, I didn't.
Yes, I know.
Okay. So this, what do you recognize this as?
I recognize that we previously discussed this, and I told you that I oriented Ms. Heard to a different time frame because she was already out of the relationship.
Okay, maybe we should back it up a little. This is the CTS-2 that you administered as part of this battery of tests that you indicate you did in relationship to your diagnosis.
Right, this is the conflict tactic scale 2.
And you'll agree with me that this test specifically asks, in front of every single question, how often did this happen in the past year?
Correct, and I
Right.
oriented
And
the
you know-
individual to
I
not
think
limit
it's
herself to the
correct.
last year to get an accurate assessment of the violence and abuse that she experienced in the relationship.
Objection, Your Honor, move to strike.
All right. I'll move strike the last part of the answer. Strike the last part of the answer. Thank you. Next question.
Yeah, and you know that at the time that you gave this test to Ms. Heard, she had been away from Mr. Depp for far longer than a year, correct?
Which is why I oriented her to a different
Yes or no,
time
ma'am?
frame in answering the questions.
Doctor, yes or no?
Of course,
Okay, you knew she was gone for more than a year.
of course.
All right, let's look at another one of these. You talked about the danger, I'm sorry. You talked about the danger assessment test.
That's correct.
All right.
What number is this? 13, plaintiff's 1310.
Thank you.
Any objection to 1310 as a
No, ma'am.
demonstrative? Okay. You publish the jury.
Dr. Hughes, this is a blank form, but this is the danger assessment test that you also gave to Ms. Heard, correct?
I didn't give it to her. I filled it out based on the data that was provided to me.
Oh, so you asked her the questions and then you filled it in.
It was somewhat collaborative.
Okay. Can we blow up the second full paragraph? It says, using the calendar, please mark the approximate dates during the past year when you were abused by your partner or ex-partner. You didn't use any calendar, did you?
I did not use a calendar because she was already out of the relationship. As I said, these are static risk factors, so they don't change. So I
But these
oriented her to the
exams-
time of the relationship.
Ma'am, it's fair to say that this examination that you gave specifically indicates that that you were supposed to look over the past year. And
That's
is that the
one,
language?
no, that's one administration. People use this instrument for if you're in an acute situation in a relationship, trying to get a better assessment of the current behaviors. We can use it retrospectively, like I just stated, and in
You can sip on just this all day.
back about what are the serious risk factors that were in this relationship.
I didn't ask you about anything other than, don't the instructions limit this test to the previous year?
You can give this test not only on the
No,
previous
asking
year,
you about the instructions.
but I'm telling you how the test is administered in clinical practice and in forensic practice.
And opposing counsel can come up and ask questions about it. I'm asking you about the instructions. And the instructions say, look over the past year. And,
Yeah, on this, yes, that it says that.
and you had actual knowledge when you gave the test that Mr. Depp was gone way more than a year before this test.
That is correct.
Right. All right. Let's look at more instructions. Can we look at 1247, which is already in evidence? Dr. Hughes, you recognize this one too, right?
Yes,
All right. This is the, what everybody calls the CAPS 5.
correct.
All right. Can we go to the first page? Let's blow up the instructions. Standard administration and scoring of the CAPS 5 are essential for producing reliable and valid scores and diagnostic decisions. Correct?
Correct.
And you know you have to do this in a standardized way because it is the first instruction, correct?
Correct.
Can we go to the next page? One more. Oh, wait, that's good. This is a page on scoring, and we talked about this last time.
Yes,
You score these tests by frequency and intensity.
correct.
And you'll remember that in every single instance that you were asked to fill in the blank about frequency, you failed to do so, correct?
That's not correct.
Oh, you filled in any blank on this form with respect to frequency?
I filled in the frequency on the side of the caps where I am actually scoring the caps.
No, I asked
Where
you
it's
whether
relevant.
you filled in a single blank on this form with respect to frequency. Is the answer to that yes or no?
I don't know what you mean, a single blank.
All right, let's keep going. All right, we'll stay at this page for a second. This is the very first box you're asked to fill in as to, I think it's a fairly fundamental question, right? What happened?
We talked about this before, Mr. Dennison. I had 88 pages of notes of what happened. It would have been redundant to put it there.
You know that you are obligated to produce this test in a way that other people can meaningfully review them. Yes?
The people in this case who are meaningfully reviewing them have my 88 pages of notes.
Right. But you chose to put absolutely nothing in the box, the standardized box that said what happened.
You don't have to put it in the box if you have it somewhere else. It's
not a-
not.
Where is it then?
Where is
Test?
it?
If it's not a research instrument that is used for research, if you're using it for a clinical diagnostic purpose, no, you don't. If you have that data elsewhere.
Okay, let's go another page or so. All right. Let's go another one. All right, let's look at item 4B4. And I asked you filled in the blank about frequency. And there's a blank in many of these items that asks number of times. You didn't fill a single one of them in, did you?
Right, because I filled them on the right side of the instrument where I am scoring it.
And that is the way that you believe that you followed the instructions of a standardized test.
Yes, correct.
No further questions.
All right, redirect.
Very briefly.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's all the clips I'm going to show for today.
That's what I really love
So,
about Vimeo.
oh,
There's just a diversity
let me pause
of
this, yeah.
creatives that we can tap into. We'll get brief.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, so that's just the last clips. I just wanted to show those clips. I just wanted to see this sorry ass Amber Heard on here again, her rebuttal, and you know the fake tears, the fake crying, boo hoo, boo hoo. Put up the violence for her, really, really. So tomorrow, if I'm correct, it's supposed to be the closing argument. So basically, this is the end. So we're gonna see what the jury have to say. I mean, we all look at it as like, well, it's quite obvious that she was abusing him and he should win, but we don't know what the jury will see. The jury might look at her as like, oh my gosh, she's just beautiful. We're gonna have to stand by her and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff. Okay, what did New York Beat says all these liars think that they are Kevin Spacey and the Unusual Suspect. I think I did see that movie. I can't remember. It's been so long. Played the victim by pretending to be weak. Then in reality, Day the Villains. I gotta watch that one again. Okay, so welcome, everybody's coming in here, and we're gonna about to end it. What did you say here? I love Camille. Yes, Camille's Vasquez. Isn't she good? Oh my gosh, she's so good. Johnny Depp's lawyer. She's a bulldog. He is definitely getting his money's worth of his lawyer. Big time. Big time. Okay. All right. What else New York Beat says? Where did this woman learn to write? It looks like a 5-year oldest handwriting. And what'd you say? She's not even having tears come out. Yeah, there's no tears. There's nothing. She's struggling. What a shame. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you for engaging. Thank you to the people that watch the replay. And let's stay tuned and see what's next. I might do a highlight clip tomorrow evening. We will see. But, this is Memorial Weekend. We will see. So I might do something tomorrow. But you probably won't be hearing from me over the weekend and stuff. But if you don't, I just want everybody to know is if I don't come on tomorrow, everybody have a great Memorial Weekend, a safe one. Enjoy yourself. Pull out the grill. Eat, drink, dance, have fun, and get your flirt on. Take your loved one out. Just do something nice. Just have fun. All right? Enjoy yourself. All right? But you will hear some more from me because I got to get back into this. Amber Heard, we got to talk about what the verdict is. Let's go from there. So I'll close out with this song. Everybody had this as a blessed night and a safe one. And naturally, hugs and kisses to you, beautiful girl. Let's see what's going to happen, right? We're going to see what's going to happen. Cross fingers. Come on, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp must win, must win. You're doing something for all the men out here that's being abused. Another great and interesting live stream. Catch you next time, Donna. Peace out, everyone. You too. Blessings, hugs, and kisses. All right. So maybe you might see you tomorrow, if not, whatever. But just everybody had this as a great memorial. And close out with some music.